Hello and welcome to the Corona Yoga Challenge. Today is day 149 and interestingly the numbers are exactly the same as yesterday. No idea why, but they are. Today we are going to do a little bit of yoga philosophy and we are going to discuss saucha and cleanliness. So saucha and purity. So saucha can be loosely translated as cleanliness. So what is cleanliness and what is its role in our life? So first of all, I think we probably want to have a little look at the kind of where's this coming from almost. So for me, when we're thinking about yogic concepts and philosophies, they're things that can potentially help us in our life, but we have to treat with a little bit of gentleness and kindness so that we don't beat ourselves up and make ourselves into something that isn't kind of real, I suppose. And at its base level, saucha can be having a clean space, keeping your body clean, just that kind of very base level cleanliness. What that is for you obviously matters. So I have not hoovered my carpet for a while. I got washed, but I'm not super clean, to be frank. So there's a kind of level that you're comfortable with where you are maintaining your health of your space and the health of your body, which is just kind of like a practical consideration and obviously maybe a consideration for other people as well. I amusingly went to a yoga place once and I thought, I might go for a yoga class, and had a little leaflet, and the little leaflet said on it, please shower before class. Like please use our showers, come shower before class. Please make sure you're this distance away from other people. And it kind of had so many rules. I was like, oh man alive, I just don't feel like coming here at all anymore. Mainly because it felt like a very top-down, kind of heavy way of approaching how our bodies are and how our bodies are with other people. So I do think it's a very individual thing to interact with. And for me, cleanliness, there's the cleanliness of the body and the space that you're in. You can have a cleanliness of your mind, so it can be there's many ways that we can use our words to describe a situation or to interact with another person. Can you use your words so there's a kindness in your words, and yet can you also be pure enough with your intention and your mind and where you are that you can absolutely say what you mean, which might not be that kind of radiant, all benevolent, wonderful sweetness person that you imagine. But it could be a real pure sense of like, no, I think that this is not okay and I really need to stay that. That's absolutely good as well. So purity is like that kind of when we've burnt away all the little niggles, imperfections that come right down to what is most important. So I think that is probably, in terms of mental aspects, the most, or how we interact with that, the most important thing. So there's mental aspects, we can look at that in a life thing. Have you got a purity of purpose, a kind of getting rid of the unneeded in your life and what you're doing with your life and what you want to happen with your life or what you believe you should be doing with your life? Have we got a cleanliness, a purity on that front? And we can take that into energy. So the energy that's around you, who you choose to interact with and how you interact with them. And obviously from a yoga point of view, we can take that into food. It's a pretty simple one. So the sense of what do you put into your body, what effect does it have on your body? And almost like that gradient of we start with just the physical body and the food that we put into the body, the emotions that potentially creates, the spiritual dynamics that creates, the life stuff. So there's that kind of big, wide possibility of where you want to interact with this sense from. And the food thing I find quite interesting because I know that people's bodies can be very, very different. So I've got one sister, she doesn't eat gluten at all. It's like, no, that's just not going to work. She doesn't have really much onions, garlic, leeks for very physical reasons. I know another friend, they can eat absolutely whatever they want and it doesn't seem to put them up or down. So we've got a we've got a short-term window where we can say, yeah, I can do whatever I want. Some people can eat a pile of junk food and they still seem to be fine. What's happened in my life is that the more that I've practiced yoga, the more that I've become more sensitive to my needs, the more I have moved towards what is a traditional yogic diet. So that sattva diet a pure diet of whole grains, vegetables, all exciting stuff like that, and less of the fizzy drinks, alcohol, tamasic food, the kind of mushrooms, the heavy food, old food, all those things. No, my body doesn't want them anymore. But so important for you, it might not be that. You might be like, hey, I do more yoga and actually I can eat all of these things without any problem. The other thing I really wanted to bring up is that you can have an ideal of where you think that you need to be with your life and what you're doing to your body and with your body and how that is playing out. You can do all these, make these like, oh, I've got this pure idea of my life. You can do that. But I think it's really important to come back to living here, living now, living with the people that we're around, so that all the time we are coming back to our proper a true relationship to the environment you choose to be living in. And you can use the most yogic diet in the entire world, just eat brown rice, that's it, brown rice, a bit of oil, lovely, nuts, vegetables, nothing more, nil more by mouth. The problem is that you're going to find that it's very hard to share food in that situation. It's probably just going to be the odd person, but I'll be very happy to come round to eat brown rice, vegetables and the odd nut. But there's an awful lot of people you're not going to be able to share food with. So it's really, really important to be able to enjoy wherever you want to be in that sense of purity, and also to be able to break all your rules so that potentially what's more important is to be able to be with people. Potentially, that might not be for you. So the other thing from a yoga point of view is there are cleansing practices in the body, so that we can think of tratak, which is candle gazing, which is to cleanse the eyes and to cleanse the physical eyes, to cleanse the vision, the way that we see, so the kind of more spiritual or dimension of that. These practices, they're tummy cleansing, so that you're doing tummy movements to kind of help the peristalsis, help the tummy and the digestion to move so that we can cleanse better, so the body can let go of what is not required. And the thing that for this time in our lives, so the time of COVID and trying to reduce its spread, obviously we've got hand washing, which is a basic cleanliness practice, but that kind of hand washing well. But the thing that I really wanted to bring up that I'm going to go into in more detail is neti, which is saline nasal washing. So you pour salt water into one nostril, out through the other, and it basically cleanses the nasal sinus passages so that the nose is there to kind of stop the bugs getting inside of you. However, if you can cleanse the nasal passages, then we're not having to process as much with these parts of our body if we do it well. I'm going to do a video on this so that you can really enjoy learning neti, so if you are interested. So I won't go into too much now, but these very physical, basic practices, they're not basic in terms of everybody's life, but they're very physical practices, can be really, really helpful and supportive in keeping yourself healthy. But I'm going to come back a little bit from that very physical to the concept of cleanliness and pureness, because I think it's really important to interact with what it can mean. So what that can mean is that we go into the holier than thou, all is radiant, all is good, all of the time. We're sitting in our little cave, meditating on life, wearing white, eating brown rice only. We are as pure as can be. Everything that comes out of our mouth sounds like the song of a bird. And is always so kind and beautiful. And I think fabulous, wonderful. If that is where you are, then fantastic. I've got so much to learn from you. However, most of us, in all honesty, are just not. So purity becomes a truthfulness to yourself. So more than this idea of trying to become a yogic kind of goddess or god, or somewhere between the two if you're that way inclined. So rather than trying to become this kind of living deity, can you just be you and be you really well and really truthfully and honestly and kindly? That is my current version of purity and cleanliness from a bigger perspective. So it's absolutely good to enjoy an inspiration of somebody that you might think, oh gosh, yeah, they've totally got everything sorted and they just radiate light the whole time. However, don't feel you have to be that person. Enjoy what they give to you and then come back to just saying, yeah, and I'm me here right now. Because for me, the aim of purity and cleanliness is to grow. And is to grow in a way that you feel is right, so that it doesn't have to be like, the gradient I talked about before. It doesn't have to be less evolved and more evolved. That's a proper kind of snooty yoga philosophy that does exist. I think we have different roles in life, and it's about finding where you are with your life, enjoying that, being that, and also asking to keep growing and to keep being real. And if you end up sitting on a little white stage, wearing all white, chanting Om, great. And if you end up working a regular job, sometimes mucking up badly, saying the wrong thing, and going through your life with a determination to love and to find peace, fantastic, just as good. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a very, very pure and clean day, your way. Thank you.